Okay guys, here it is. First day of summer. Going on a summer solstice hike. That away. We're going to take the Tunnel Hill Trail. And if you look back in my playlist for hiking and biking for 2016, you can see what it looks like now and compare it to what it looked like in one of my earlier hikes. But anyway, like I said, today's the summer solstice. It's a beautiful, warm, sunny day. Skies are blue, sun's shining, and pretty much perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and take me a walk, and I'll turn the camera on every now and then, and we can take a look around. Okay, there's a Paw Paw Tunnel over there. It's all nice and open now. And over here we got the sign. The signpost up ahead. We are going this way, up Tunnel Hill Trail. And well, if you look around, you can see how green it's gotten out here. It just gets beautifuler and beautifuler. So we're going to head up this hill and head on up to the top. Okay, breathing a little bit hard on this section. It's a long, steady uphill. Some people have called it part of the forced death march of going up this trail. But I tell them, deep breaths is the key to getting up this hill. Don't pant like a dog. Take deep breaths. And when we get to the clearing up here, I'll show you all around the scenic overlook. I'm trying not to bounce the camera too much, but it's really growing in and it's really beautiful up here. Well, we're up here at the scenic overlook, and as you look over the trees, that's where we came up. You can see how beautiful it's getting out here. In fact, I'm going to go a little bit further where I believe it's a little bit easier to see around, because it really has grown in a lot. Well, you know, summer solstice. It's summertime up here in the mountains. Usually right here, right around here, you get the best view. There you go. Oh, kind of rocky. Here we go. Big old dead tree there. And off in the distance, let's see if I move over a little bit. You can see the little town of Paw Paw all nestled in amongst the trees. You can barely see it for all the trees. Got the Potomac River down there. It's kind of swollen right now. There's been a lot of storms and rain in the area, and as a result, it's kind of murky looking. But you know, as the silt settles, it'll clear up a bit, and it'll be time to go play in the river. Well, I'm going to head on up to the top now. All right, we're up here at the very top of the ridge, and I'm going to go ahead over to that gate there, do some stretching, and then I'm going to head on down to the first lock, and then I'm going to go ahead, turn around, and come back up. See y'all after I get going again. This downhill part after you get to the top of the ridge, and you start going back down. This is actually one of my least favorite sections. It's well, first of all, my legs don't like going down hills anymore. I prefer up hills. My legs seem to work better that way. But also, when we get rain and storms up here, it gets rutted. Now the Park Service has come through, and they've filled in some of the ruts and flattened out some spots, so it's a lot better. And here it's not so bad, but a little further up, it gets a little bit worse, and I'll show you that. This is a section that usually gets really rutty because water just runs down that hill every time there's a storm or something, and usually just goes down the edge there. But a lot of times it'll make ruts right through here, and like I said, the Park Service has come through and flattened it out some, so it's not as bad as it was, but it's still not all that good. Well, it's a lot better. There's flat spots. There's some spots where you can hike easily. I like wearing some boots that support my ankles, because last thing I want to do up here is twist an ankle. That would be bad. Yeah, you can see where it's kind of eroded in here. And then it flattens out and it gets nice again. Well, actually, it's all good. Just thought I'd turn the camera on at this point. It's just very, very nice out here. You know, you're walking through the woods. You got the sun-dappled trail. It's just a very pleasant experience doing this. One of the reasons I like to go on these hikes, even if I do the same trail, but it's no real biggie. Seems like there's always something interesting or something I didn't notice before. And just being outdoors in the sunlight on a beautiful, beautiful summer day like this. I used to do this when I was working second shift. I would get up early enough to go for a walk in the woods, and it would just mellow me out, and I'd be all ready to face the day, put up with all the bowl duty, just kind of I guess I could just take it with a lot more inner mellowness. And here we go out into the sun-baked part. Well, I'll turn this thing back on in a little bit and we'll discuss it some more. Okay, we're about off of Tunnel Hill Trail, headed back down to the towpath, and it looks like everything's dried up down here. Hasn't really been a decent storm in a few days, although who knows, it might be one tonight. You never really know up here in the mountains sometimes. Now, a lot of times, actually for the past few months, there's been a little spring that ran through here, and basically the water was filtered through the mountain and it came out nice and cool, and you could actually drink it. It ran through here and down around here, but it's all dried up now. Down there's the canal, but I definitely would not drink out of there. There's a towpath coming from the tunnel, and it comes through here and goes on up there. And here you go. We're down the other side of Tunnel Hill Trail. It's a steep and strenuous trail. But we're headed out this way toward the first lock. And then we're going to turn around. Approaching the lock. I can hear water running. Ah, look at there. There's enough water to get a little trickle there. This here's one of the locks along the C&O Canal. Yeah, it was operational until 1924 when they closed it all down. And now it's just a, well, it's a national park. It's a recreational area. And this is where I turn around. I take my boot and I go doink. And that's my turnaround spot. And it sure is pretty out here. There's the other side of the canal down there. So, let's head on back. Just thought I'd throw this in real quick. Let's see, it's about 1 o'clock on a Monday. And it's beautiful out here. And I haven't seen another person on the trail. There were a few vehicles parked in the parking lot. There's one big old van with a bunch of, well, it wasn't a van, it was a trailer with a bunch of bikes and stuff in the back of it. But I've yet to see anybody else out here. Maybe they'll be out a little bit later. Well, I'm going to be out a little bit later with my wife. When she gets off of work, we're going to go for another hike together. But like I said, not another living soul out here. I specify living because it is, this place is known to be haunted. From all the people that that died or were killed in the building of the tunnel. So, you know, there might be some not so living souls out here, but I haven't seen any living souls. Alright, it's time to head on back up now. We're going to go back up Tunnel Hill Trail. And, you know, start with this section. And what was once a downhill has now become an uphill. We're back. Time to head up this hill now, which is the way I much more prefer it. As I mentioned before, my legs are better going up than they are down. And besides, it's good exercise. So I'm heading up. Deep breath. I'm headed up, and we'll meet you at the top. See ya. Okay, we're back up at the gate. Made it back up that hill there. And I'm going to stop and stretch again. And then head on back down to the truck. And we'll see you down there on the other side. Occasionally, you get people on horseback up here, and they leave a little present on the trail. Just got to watch out with that kind of stuff. Now this downhill, what was an uphill coming up is a downhill going down. Obviously, if it's going down, it's downhill, but it's a lot more treacherous coming back down than it is going up. But actually the reason I got this thing on is I hear a lot of noise over here. Let's see what's going on. Well, I don't see anybody, but I can hear them in the tunnel. Yeah, this is the a view from the top of the tunnel. Hope you can pick that up. But there's somebody having fun in the tunnel. Alright, we made it back down. Yay! Man, it's beautiful out here. Makes me want to go jump in the river. And here we are at the other side of the tunnel, or the side back to the side where we started at the tunnel. Anyway. Now I do have a video where I do a Paw Paw Tunnel walkthrough, but I thought I'd just get a little bit closer to the tunnel, maybe go in a little ways. I smell a cigarette. Somebody's smoking. There's the tunnel there, and that's where we were, up there, looking at the top of the tunnel. And the trail we were on goes over the tunnel. We'll go in just a little ways and turn around. Well, here it is. And now we're going to turn around. Okay, let's head back to the truck. Okay. Back where we started. Over yonder ways the truck. Hey, I live in West Virginia. What do you expect? And as we approach the park from the other direction, there's well, if you look over this way, there's a lot more vehicles. And actually I've seen some people out here. There's that trailer with all the bikes and stuff. And I saw some bikes on the trail. I didn't get them on video, but trust me, they're out there. And over here, looks like a little bit of a picnic party going on. But right now, we're going to head on home. Like I said, I'm at the truck. And I'm going to head home, get this edited and uploaded.